Hey, man.
How about them Dodgers, baby?
Dude, the Dodgers.
It was time for Dodger baseball, and the Dodgers finally decided to play some baseball.
They weren't messing around at the end there.
Good Lord, that series took a decade off my life, but fortunately I'm still here.
Well, I think what saved you is the fact that it's your family's team.
Listen, Adam, it's a 101.
Boys and girls at home and kids in the gallery, let's go!
Hello, Packamaniacs, and welcome to another episode of Pack to the Future. I'm your host, Ricky, a.k.a. Mr. eBay. And I'm joined by my co-host and partner in crime, Dr. Chad.
Someone call for a doctor?
How you doing, Doc?
I'm a champion, baby. How else would I be?
You are a champion. Well, on tonight's show, we are going to be covering we've got a huge announcement. It's our huge yearly announcement.
Yes.
If your pants aren't off, they will be shortly when you hear what we've got to tell you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, we got to hear more from the champ, Baseball Chad, as we call him around these parts. We got to hear about his trip to see the Dodgers at the World Series. We've got a grading report, and we're going to talk a little Arena Club. But before we dive into all that, Chad, do we have any show announcements?
Yeah, we do, and we're going to do this a little bit differently going forward. First of all, we'll briefly remind people of our website at pttfpodcast.com, where you can listen to each and every one of our episodes. But that's also where you can help support the show through our eBay affiliate link. So every time you want to go do a little browsing or make a purchase over on the eBay, make sure you're signed into eBay. Go to the website, pttfpodcast.com, click the affiliate link in the top right corner. Shop as planned. It's free for you. Brings the show a small little commission in the process, and we will love you forever. And that's based on everything you buy in the next 24 hours after you click that link.
And we are starting to, we do give backs throughout the year, big gift backs, the one we're about to announce. But we're going to start giving back on a monthly basis in addition to all this with an eBay gift card to our highlighted eBay purchaser of the month. Yes. We have Mike from Detroit from last week, who was carried over into November, I was told. So end of November will be our first drawing. And we're going to be adding another entry this week. And so we just want a little way for us to say thank you for supporting this show at no additional cost to you beyond your time.
Ricky, we've got a number of entries for this week. It looks like we have 20 just over the past week. And I will say headlined heavily by WNBA, which seems to be a theme with our listeners over the last several weeks. And there's some big name cards in there. We also see some Marvel. We see some basketball and even 2025 Bowman Chrome. And this one, I think, Ricky, someone bought Notre Dame into a case break through eBay. And I think that's one of the first times that at least I've noticed that.
That's amazing.
And, I would say it's Tim because it's a case break. But I don't know that Tim's a Notre Dame guy.
No, it doesn't strike me as a fighting Irish.
Tim's a team casino guy. He wants to go to casino. But Ricky, I put these names into a bit of a randomizer, and we're going to do the randomizer to see who this week will go into the monthly drawing. So let me go ahead and pull up that page. For those of you who are listening on podcast form, don't forget, we always appreciate those 5-star ratings and little reviews. But for this particular segment, don't forget you can watch us on the YouTube, where you'll see the randomizer now.
Yeah.
So, Ricky, I put every purchase into random.org, and we're going to randomize this thing, I think, just once. And whoever's on top is going to be entered into the drawing. What do you say?
3 times.
3 times. Let's do it. So here's number 1 and number 2. Ooh, up on top is Bowman Chrome, Mike Madonna. If we would have gone twice, that would have been the winner. Number 3, here we go, WNBA. 2024 Prism. Number 76, Skylar Diggins Smith, Black Gold. So whoever purchased that card, you are being entered into the drawing of the month. Congratulations. We'll do that drawing the last week here of November. And thank you for using our eBay affiliate link.
Yeah, get at us on our Instagram if you hear this and let us know who you are so we can identify you ahead of time.
I like that a lot. So let me pop that in there. All right, Ricky. Well, before we continue on into the program, one other thing we're going to put into announcement before we get to the big announcement
Yeah.
I have some mail days.
Yes.
Now, this is one thing I did not ask you. Before I go, do you have any mail days that you want to share?
Nothing whatsoever. I'm a
The
loser
old
when it comes to cards lately.
God, don't be so harsh on yourself, my man. But I
Not good.
got you. I
Well,
do
we're
have 3.
entering the holiday season, and I have my eye on some cards, but I can't buy them because Mrs. eBay may be purchasing them. So,
Gotcha. All right. Well, here's number 1 for me. I can't remember if I shared this last week, but I bought a Young Guns.
yeah.
And this is of Logan Cooley of the Utah Mammoth. Now, Logan Cooley is Utah's up-and-coming star, had a hat trick even this season.
Yeah.
Just over $100. There's going to be a million of these PSA 10s of the Young Guns, but I was happy to add this one to the collection. I'll throw it in my Zion case and let that one hang out until they win the Stanley Cup.
Now, I thought I saw, and maybe it's past, Logan Cooley's coming to our local card shop again. I thought I saw that.
May have to get a little something.
Any temptation to crack that? Have him sign it and resend it in?
No, we'll just get another one. I think that the base Young Guns, not being slabbed, you can get it for pretty cheap.
Okay.
And so we'll just buy one. Maybe we'll get him to sign one and send it in. I think we both should do it. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
So that's number 1.
Okay.
Let me stop the share. Number 2, I think I highlighted before, but this one finally came in. I think I actually highlighted this on Card Talk with Mrs. Doc, which people can find on the YouTube every Wednesday.
Mhm.
And this is out of Eminence Football. Now, this one from 2021 Eminence. Of course, the 2024 Eminence just came out, which is the second rendition. This one being the first. This is a Super Bowl royalty, 1 troy ounce. John Elway on-card autograph numbered to 10 with that Super Bowl 33 stamp right there on the silver. And I got to tell you, Ricky, this card really pops in person, man. Like, let's see if I can show this to you here. The foil that's on here is not done justice by the photo. I mean, I think you got a little glimpse of that. It's a little bit hard with the light,
Yeah,
but you
but
can
it
see right up
pops.
top there, it does pop. And these are thick cards. They come with the Eminence sticker right on there. So they're a lot of fun, man. I know that there's some pretty darn cool Detroit Lions cards out there. You should at least consider putting them on your Christmas wish list.
%. And I love, again, that the metal is actually stamped with a meaningful event relating to that card.
Right. And lastly, Ricky, not another massive one.
This one
but
excites
one that's a
me,
lot
though.
this one's a lot of fun. Do you know what it is?
No, but I saw the player in the show.
Yeah. So this one is 2013 Select, of course, the first year of Select. It is Prism Silver PSA 10. I forget the pop report on this. I can probably pull it up. But this card looks so good. It's
Man.
Calvin Johnson Silver, and he's in his white, I guess, gray Lions jersey. That card looks so good.
Yeah, white jersey, but he's got the gray pants and the helmet, which really blend well with the silver prism.
Yes. Let's see if I can scan this and tell you the pop. But
that is beautiful.
I was very pleasantly surprised. Now, are you going to tell me that captain's patch is pink again?
Yes. It is because the towel is also pink. That game was played in October for breast cancer awareness. 100%.
It's a PSA Pop 16.
Game used.
So that's it for my mail week. So 2 footballs and a hockey club, but kind of fun ones.
That is amazing, man. Truly.
Yeah. Thank you. So good stuff there.
All right. Well, I think it's time.
This is the part I'm most excited for. This is our biggest announcement of the year.
It's my, and I think your favorite time of the year every year.
I'm going to put this on.
Oh no. I gotta fix this real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, not a problem. I'm putting on my festive lights.
Oh, I wonder why.
Well, we'll find out here pretty quick. Well,
Hmm.
hopefully you'll let me know here shortly. But
I will.
I'm feeling festive.
I wonder what this is. Let's see.
Is this snow inside the studio?
I think it's snowing outside. It's a Christmas miracle.
Hey!
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Pack-O-Maniacs. Secret Santa's back, baby!
Yes!
This year, we're starting out with our deadline to get at us if you are interested. It is going to be Sunday, November 16th by midnight.
I need to write that down.
Now, I'll repeat that in a minute. For those that are newer to the show and may be interested and may need a refresher, what this program is you reach out to us through our Instagram at Pack to the Future Podcast or our email at packtothefuturepodcast@gmail.com. You just let us know you're interested. We get you on the list. We then assign you another listener in the program or a host along with their favorite people they collect. It is your responsibility to shop for a card or cards for them. $30 minimum, no maximum, but $30 is totally sufficient. If you're worried about finances, we want you to participate. So get at us. And then we will do a live show where we will go around and everyone will open their gifts from their Secret Santa. Now, what you will do additionally is once you've bought for your Secret Santa, you will ship those cards to us. We will package them with all sorts of goodies and additional prizes. We will box them up and ship them out to the Secret Santa. You will receive a box and you will join us for this live show where we open our boxes. It is a fantastic time. Everyone is so positive and friendly. If you have anxiety about joining us, don't let that get in the way. Talk to us. We'll figure something out for you. But we want you to participate. We want to get a large number of listeners. It is a labor of love for Chad and I. But we're doing a quick deadline this year because honestly, we want to get some new listeners. Not that we have a problem with old listeners. We love our old listeners, but we want to meet some new faces. And we want to connect with some of our listeners that actively listen to our show currently. And so that's why we're doing kind of a tight deadline on this. You have 8 days at least from the time, if you're listening to this at download on November 8th. But just get at us and say, hey, I'm interested. That's all you got to do so far. And we'll walk you through the next steps.
Yes. And I think even, let me just add a little bit to it, Ricky. Let's have them think of the top 3 people or teams or sports that you collect. It doesn't have to be a specific card. You could say, hey, I collect Barry Sanders. I collect
Detroit Lions.
And Ricky's shorts from card shows. Send that to us with your name and your interest and a shipping address. We'll take care of the rest.
Yep. And if you get at us and just say, hey, I'm interested, we'll poke you and prod you for this additional info if you forget. Just don't hesitate because you don't have it perfect. Just let us know. We want to engage with you. This is our favorite show of the year. This is what a lot of our funds that we make when we push for the eBay purchases. This is what this helps fund. All sorts of goodies and gifts for our listeners. We get sponsors involved. It's a fun time every year, man. You do not want to miss this. I'm telling you, we're talking to you, the listener that has not engaged with us or is engaged minimally, the listener that has not done this before. I'm telling you, step out of your comfort zone. The people that get into this never want to leave it.
Yeah.
So,
and you guys all heard Max
into our super secret show chat.
Yes. Even better.
Don't forget.
Max is so fired up. He thought he heard old Santa Claus coming down the chimney. That's why he ran out barking just now. That's how excited people are. Like the energy within the studios here.
Oh, yeah.
Just going nuts already.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're decorating for Christmas tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Done.
All right. Well, very good. So here comes Sarah into the background for everyone watching. That's her finger point of shame onto Max.
$30 minimum.
There you go.
November 16th, Sunday by midnight Mountain Time, 12:01. You're cooked. But all you got to do is tell us you're interested. We'll take care of the rest. We'll work with you. Come on, guys. Get out of your comfort zone. We want to meet some new listeners. Chad and I need to pick me up.
Love it.
Okay.
Well, Ricky, well done. Let's go ahead and move into kind of our first segment of this show. I want to go back to a little bit of hobby news. Now, I'm going to hit on some grading updates, and then you're going to take it over with a little bit of Arena Club.
Yeah.
So I want to share a screen here. Let's see if I can pull this up. You got the background music, which I love. So I came across something, Ricky, that I think would be just a little bit of fun for us to kind of peruse, maybe gain a little knowledge. This comes from cardlines.com. Now, this is October 2025 sports grading report. And so we've got a few different categories that are going to be mentioned here. Some of them I will highlight that you will see on the screen. Some of them I will not. And the first one that comes up is looking at the number of cards graded from TCG versus each individual sport. Ricky, I was kind of surprised by this first one. The number of submissions in September to all of the major grading companies, including PSA, Beckett, CGC, 800,000 for TCG, with the second highest being baseball at only 240,000. It just shows you the dominance of TCG, which I honestly just didn't know.
That's unbelievable.
Frankly, I was
I would
shocked by that.
never consider
Basketball coming in
buying a team.
fourth. Yeah, right?
No. No.
I was shocked by it. I mentioned baseball at number 2, football at number 3 at 223,000, and then basketball at 150,000 thereafter. And then it drops off quite a bit after that.
Right.
So that's number 1. The second one, this one I think is a little more obvious. Top grading companies for September, PSA still blowing it out of the water at 1.6 million. CGC at number 2, Ricky, I thought was interesting.
Wow. More than SGC and Beckett. That's unbelievable.
Even combined for those two.
Wow.
That kind of wild.
Yeah, that's insane.
And the movement, too, check this out. It says movement from August. CGC is up 10%, while SGC down 23% during that
Holy
month.
crap.
Pretty wild.
Pokemon does seem to be real popular, and I think that they're a popular grading company for Pokemon, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm
Perhaps
wrong.
those two things going hand in hand then. That would make a little bit of sense.
I wonder.
As we move on, the top card eras. So take a look at each decade, and it breaks it down by each individual grading company. But really, you see a trend across the board for the most part. The 2020s dominating for sports. Dominating, Ricky.
Dude.
6%. So 2/3 of the cards that are being sent in, at least for September, were 2020s era sports cards. And that to me, I guess my instinct, I don't know that this is fact. A lot of people who are either newer to the hobby are trying to buy cards, grade them, and flip them. Or I don't know. I don't know what the third category is, but I was kind of shocked by that. The 2010s follow. The 2000s were really the lowest until you get back into the 70s, but then it just kind of goes down by era from there. I was really shocked by how high the 2020s were, to be honest with you. I mean, you and I really don't even buy cards from the 2020s, with the exception of non-sport, right?
Yeah, and I almost wonder if it's like, I don't know, some nostalgia around the players that were coming out at that time. But what I seem to recall is Zion Williamson is what pushed the value of these boxes up.
He would have been in the 2010s.
Oh, you're right. No, he was coming out during the pandemic, wasn't
he 2019, 20?
Yeah, you may be right about that. Yeah. No, that's a good point.
We always do our best when we put each other on the spot with facts on the air. So while Wax Museum Kyle has a seizure, let me pull this up and tell you the actual time. So I was a little bit shocked by that.
Yeah, that is wild.
Yeah, he was 19-20 for his rookie season.
Wow.
So I guess I don't know which category he would fall in, but that one stood out to me. The gem rates, they also have these here, and there's no surprise that cards that are newer tend to gem more than the cards that are older.
Sure.
You get a 40% PSA gem rate for sports for the 2020s. Seems to be a bit higher for BGS and definitely higher for CGC. Now, I think this is of note, Ricky. Like, you see a CGC, I guess this is for traded card game only, but oftentimes if I see a card on eBay that's a CGC 10, I always wonder, like, is that going to cross over to a PSA, or what is the rate? And at least we can see for the last month that it seems as though maybe a little bit easier for CGC, even though this is for trading card game, than it is for PSA.
Yeah.
Just a couple more of these that I want to highlight, and then we can move on.
Sure.
But Jaden Daniels is the top graded player for September.
That was a mistake.
Well, what are we doing? It goes back to my initial thought when we saw so many of these cards being graded in the 2020s. Like, these are still people that are searching for prospects, for hot rookie cards, and these are people who are looking to make a profit, because Caitlin Clark is also on there. Bo Nix is on there. My God, he does not belong there. Drake May, JJ McCarthy. You get an up-and-coming soccer player from La Liga. You get Michael Penix, Victor Wembanyama. I mean, Jordan and Shohei are the only two somewhat established. I mean, obviously Jordan is. Shohei's still playing in his prime, but that's still just absurd.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
No.
So,
and Jaden Daniels doesn't have a leg that works, or an arm that works.
Or a
leg that works. He has both.
Here's the last one to highlight. The top graded sets. So like the number of cards graded for the last month in each set. Look at the 2020s just dominating, Ricky. 2024 Optic Football, 2024 Prism Football, 2024 Select Football. And then we get WNBA Prism, and then it goes right back to football. 2024 Donruss Football. I mean, these are people who are buying them, they are grading them, and they are flipping them. How about this, though? making the top 10.
Wow.
86 Fleer basketball.
Plus 32%.
How about that?
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's kind of odd. So anyway, I don't want to keep scrolling through there. I've already taken too much time on it, but I thought it was
No.
kind of interesting to see what the trends in the hobby are for people
for
who are
sure.
doing things that you and I are not necessarily participating in.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fascinating, man.
Yeah. So
We ought to check in with those more often.
yeah, I kind of like that one.
Now, you were mentioning to me and we're going to talk about this in a minute, but while you were watching the World Series and the playoffs in baseball, I noticed it as well, that we kept seeing commercials for Arena Club. Now, we looked into it a little bit, and Arena Club's slab packs are kind of an alternative way of collecting. I was skeptical at first, but it looks it looks interesting. There's something here. And what you can do is you can purchase, you can create an account and go online through their website, or I think you can also download an app. And through that app, you can purchase virtually a pack of cards, or a pack of a card. Now, these packs will have one slabbed card per pack. And you will find out immediately on the app. It will do a virtual unwrapping, but that card can physically be sent to you. You can sell it on the website without receiving the card. Oh God, Tim would love that.
I immediately thought of Tim. Yeah, I agree.
And there's like a whole marketplace where you can bid on cards that have been opened. You can choose a pack based on a certain sport. For example, I've got the Yahoo Fantasy Gold Pack, which is a football pack. And what I like about the website is if you click on some of these products, they'll show you the chase cards, which are like Downtowns, Color Blasts, Kabooms. But they'll tell you, hey, you have a 0.01% chance of these, like heads up. And then they'll give you a bigger list where you have a 1% chance at the rest of the lineup of cards. And I'll have to look at, I don't know how many of these packs there are, if this shows every single card or not. More times than not, it has not. But this shows quite a lot of cards. So I really do think you may be able to see all the different options you have. For the more basic cards, you're going to be looking at, maybe a parallel, maybe an autographed parallel, a rookie card. All slabbed. They all appear to have pretty good grades, 10 or 9, maybe an 8 here and there. But kind of a cool new way to do it. I mean, especially for people that want to have a collection but maybe don't want to carry it around with them all the time and want to kind of pick and choose which ones to bring home and which ones to sell off. This may be the future of opening packs. Can you imagine opening a hobby box this way?
I think you might be onto something. I mean, for them at Arena Club, it's easy because you don't have to put together the physical pack or the box, right? Like it's all just digital.
Yep.
And it's so immediate that, yeah, if you get the real junky itch, like you could rip through these so fast. And I see it tying in with the gambling culture, the breaker culture, and people who are also collecting cards. And I can see why Arena Club was putting so much money into promoting this. I don't know, maybe it was just where I was watching it. Maybe they were trying to target me, but I felt like during every game in the baseball playoffs, I saw these on commercials. And I think Jeter was promoting it at one point as well, or still is. But I know it's not new, but just kind of an interesting thing that I felt I saw so much of.
Yeah. No, it's interesting that it's making the mainstream media in advertisements at such a big level as the World Series. Now, although baseball has always been pretty pro card, but it's still super cool. Now, these packs will range from $25, $50, $100, $250, $500, $1,000, and there's a multi-sport. There's a Pokemon I'm not even going to talk about for $2,500, but there's a multi-sport for $2,500 per pack. And let's take a look at what you're likely to get. Now, we've got some Grail cards, and a 0.02% chance you got a Tom Brady rookie, Mickey Mantle, 52 tops, Kobe Bryant flawless PSA 10 rookie, or not rookie, but autograph numbered to 10. You've got a Burrow Kaboom. These are chase cards, 0.39% chance. Kobe Bryant, Star Date 2000, Downtown, LeBron James. And then you have a lineup of 2%. And in the lineup are Color Blasts, Kabooms, old Jordan cards from Finest, Downtown Jokic, Jordan rookies, a Willie Mays autograph card. These are big boys.
Yeah, just incredible stuff there. And, it's a big price
Get
tag,
you-
but it's fun.
I got to get you whiskeyed up one of these nights and force your hand on one of these.
Get me whiskeyed up and get my credit card and then watch me
Exactly.
drink my own tears a few minutes later.
It's going to be amazing.
All right. So, yeah, hopefully that, I don't know. Did you guys happen to notice what seemed to be the abundance of Arena Club promotions? I'm curious to hear that from you guys who are
They
listening.
sure
as
seem
well. So,
prominent to me.
yeah. All right. Well,
Okay.
Ricky,
Well,
that's it.
you know.
Kind of, I lumped that into the news section, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good, you know what, though? It's a good, you know what that is?
What?
That's a good transition. Speaking of the Dodgers,
well, yes.
I don't know if I have any good music. I do. I should have prepped better. I'm sorry.
Did you put the Dodger music in there I sent you?
No. Idiot.
Well, Ricky, while you're searching for some music,
Would
this
this be
next
appropriate?
segment, Card Court, I'm terrible at taking people to court. So we can play it, but I don't necessarily know that I'm taking anyone to Card Court. You saw me stumble over myself, have a seizure, and pee all over myself the last time we did that. So, yeah, I think that's probably not in your best interest for right now. But whatever you want to throw in there, I'm fine. If you don't got anything, that's okay.
Yeah, we'll
too.
go back
But
to our old African beat.
in segment 2, I went to the World Series, and I want to tell you guys a little bit about my experience and a couple of things that happened, and then we're going to parlay that into the third segment afterwards, which, Ricky, we didn't highlight in the intro, but I want to talk to people about what shapes our card collecting and how each of us as individuals kind of grow with time and what that becomes. So, yeah, Ricky, jump in at any point. You know how it, despite having a podcast, makes me extremely uncomfortable talking for long periods of time on my own. I just
love
hate
it. I'm going to go get a snack.
So get this, all season, as my parents have been the driving force of watching Dodger baseball. These Dodger games starting at 8:10 Mountain Time, they're too late for your guy for the home games. Now next year these games are going to be starting at 7:00 my time.
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to see more of these games.
Maybe you'll make it to the 18th inning like me next time. I almost texted you. And I'm like, there's no way he's awake. There's no way.
Was fighting for my life. The 12th inning rolls around and I'm downstairs. I am pacing in the kitchen and in the dining room, just back and forth, trying to stay awake. And I'm just mumbling to myself every swear word imaginable every time we don't get a hit. Every time they get on base, I'm certain the game's over. And I'm just losing my mind. So finally I go upstairs. I'm like, I can't take this. I cannot take this pressure because I know what's going to happen. They're going to lose. And out of self-preservation, I tuck into bed. I throw on the AirPods and I put the phone on the charger because my phone's at 1% at this point.
Okay. Are you listening to it on the phone?
No, I've got it on my YouTube TV on the phone.
Okay, perfect.
I've got the headphones in so I don't wake up Sarah. And sure enough, fighting for my life. 13th inning, 15th inning. And then you know what happened? I start dodging airplanes, man. My head starts dropping and I'm struggling. And finally I wake up. I'm like, it's the 16th inning. And then I wake up and it's 2:30 and I'm like, damn it. I missed it. And my phone's just blowing up with notifications and I missed it. But it was a fight for my life. But Ricky, I digress. Before that game 4, that was game 3 had happened and the Dodgers won. In the NLCS, my dad and I were out ghost hunting when Shohei had his massive night with pitching and hit the 3 bombs.
Right.
And he had been in my ear all year. They're like, hey, if they go back to the World Series, we got to go. And I'm like, all right, God, I've already taken so many days off of work. But Shohei does it. Dodgers win the NLCS. I'm like, all right, I'll figure out a way to take more time off of work and we're going to go. My dad, who recently, him and my mom, they had bought a house decades ago and held on to it as a rental. They recently sold it as part of a retirement investment.
Your childhood home with the back, the separate bedroom?
They sold that one earlier, so they had another one that was one street over. So it was where from the time I was born up until age 5, I lived there. And they had sold that and turned it into their kind of retirement investment properties. Like, hey, I've got some funds. It's on me. Just get the time off and let's do it. So
hell yeah.
Sure enough, the next morning after that 18th inning banger of game 3, we fly down into LAX for games 4. And I said, you know what? If we're going to game 4, I even offered to pay. I said, let's go game 5 as well.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And we were so hyped because we were so certain the Dodgers were going to win game 4, and then Shohei was going to pitch game 5, and we were going to be there when the Dodgers won the World Series. So my dad's like, well, we got to stay somewhere in LA. And he's like, let's just lift around there because we don't want to be driving, especially a rental car in that Dodger traffic. So I had stayed in Little Tokyo when I went to the Rose Bowl for Utah versus Penn State a few years ago. And I love Little Tokyo. Like, it's a very safe area. There's good restaurants there. So we stayed in this place called the Mikayo, which has a Shohei Ohtani mural painted on the side of it.
Nice.
It's about 2 miles out of Dodger Stadium. So, we're searching around for tickets leading into it, and that's kind of fun and exciting. And, we get in there for game 4. We fly in a few hours before, hop in a lift, and we go to the game. And game 4, the game itself was awful. Like, everyone saw, the Dodgers just got completely destroyed. They couldn't hit the ball. But the experience, you'll hear people talking about this. The experience of being at a World Series game, and this was not my first, is a whole lot of fun. And it doesn't matter what level of baseball fan you are.
Yeah.
There's just something about it. And being out there, it's in the upper 80s. The sun is shining. We've got breeze blowing in, but we're sitting in the shade. We've got great seats on the third baseline, just on the second tier. It was great, but the Dodgers get wrecked. And so that part wasn't so great. So we go back to the hotel that night. We're talking about it. Like, you know what? All we got to do is get game 5. And we get game 5. And we're going to be in good shape. And even though we're not going to see him win the World Series, we're going to be golden. Now, the issue with this, just to tell you a little bit more about the game itself, our plan was to sit in the right field bleachers for that game. Because when I went to the World Series in 2017, we sat out in the right field bleachers, and it was a ton of fun catching home run balls and batting practice.
I'm so happy you're bringing this up.
So get this. At the beginning of game 4, we got there soon as the gates opened for game 4 the day before. 3 hours early, we're in the stadium. The Dodgers didn't take batting practice. And we're like, why? Like, is it because the game went so late the night before? Or the Dodgers just not doing batting practice?
Yeah.
But also, it was really pleasant weather sitting in the shade. But for your boy here who doesn't do well in the heat, and when he sits in the sun, it literally tries to kill him, it is a little bit difficult to say, let's go sit in the right field bleachers where the sun is shining all the way up until the second inning. So we sell our tickets for game 5 that were in the right field bleachers. And we're managing this hours before we go to the stadium of trying to time out a low price to sell them. But also I'm eyeing up tickets of where I want to sit us in the third baseline. And we get the perfect combo. We sell the tickets, and I find some on the very first level, the field level, third baseline, just maybe a couple of sections after the actual third base.
Wow.
And the very back row. So I'm like, this is perfect. We can pop out to concessions. I can go get a drink. It'll be great. And the game itself still was. But here's the thing. I didn't realize with those seats, they ended up being disastrous for game 5. And the start of game 5 was like the worst baseball viewing experience you could have.
Before you get into that now, and I think you kind of alluded to this with the right field, you had a debate and asked some of your friends, should you bring your baseball glove?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You are so full of S. You don't own a baseball glove. Do you know how to throw a baseball?
So your boy here, hang on a second.
Are we gonna have a catch for an episode? He's gonna go get some prop glove. Probably was his mom's.
So first of all, your boy here played not baseball, because I was a football guy, track guy in high school.
Yeah.
And but your boy played quite a bit of even just softball during high school and residency. Oh yeah. So got the glove. I even played with the group on chain. And this is a softball. This, I made a laying out, diving forward catch in a softball game. So much so that the dudes came running out after I threw the ball back in, and they said, you have to keep this ball because of the catch you just made. Dude, so I've always kept this ball because of it.
Dude, we need to do one of our shows with 2 stands, standing up and doing a catch.
Well, let's do it.
That's amazing.
Now, I did bring my glove with me down to LA. But because we moved our seats and because the Dodgers didn't come out for BP in game 4, I didn't bring it with me to game 5. As we go out for game 5, and I'm glad that you stopped me, sure enough, the Dodgers are immediately setting up for batting practice. We're like, what the hell? Let's go stand out there. So we sneak our way into the bleachers because you're supposed to only have a ticket for the bleachers to get out there to go snag home run balls. So we go out to left field. And I'm like, you know what? There aren't any balls being hit my way. Let me just pull out my phone. I'll go live on Instagram so people can see the World Series.
Yeah.
And I'm filming for a bit. And, a couple of balls start to get hit my way. A right-handed hitter gets up. I don't know who it was. But then as I'm filming, I see one get jacked. I'm like, you know what? This is kind of coming my way. I take like 2 steps to the left as I'm filming. I'm like, holy shit, this ball's coming right at me. Even though your boy can catch a softball, in my mind, I'm going raw dogging with my left hand here. I'm holding my phone with my right hand. I'm like, is there a chance that I'm actually going to catch this ball with my left hand? So I slide over, I lean out with my left hand, and I feel a slap. This fucking, whoops, I guess this show's explicit. This dude who rolls out from his right to my left just reaches over, bare hands it, and catches the ball right in front of my hand. Exactly like what happened to me in 2017. This dude was awesome. I almost asked him for his autograph. He is Joe Cool. He's wearing no Dodger gear. He's got shades. He's got like a Dominican type tan. Just cool guy. Snags the ball, puts it in his pocket, walks over to the bleachers, and just lounges back. Just no problem. I'm like,
did you consider being a Phillies Karen to him?
I was like, dude, I'm not even mad. I'm impressed.
That's amazing. That's incredible. That's the right response to that.
It was amazing. It was amazing. And my dad was a couple rows in front of me. And, he's getting fired up because this happened again. I'm like, Dad, we can't be mad at this. That's the coolest thing I've seen happen in years.
Yeah.
Is this guy.
That's amazing.
So then we go to our seats, and this is where things get a little crappy with the tickets. I mentioned I had the very back row of that lower level.
Yeah.
Now, the thing at Dodger Stadium that I didn't realize is that the section above it overhangs by like 10 rows.
No.
And with people standing up, we couldn't see the entire skyline, which is like part of why you go to Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
And so we got a vertical of about 3 feet that we could see. And even worse, we had no airflow because all of the concessions were right behind us. So, dude, it felt like it was 100 degrees and stagnant air inside of there. It was so awful and so hot and muggy that I was looking at SeatGeek during the game to go buy another ticket. I had to go out fortunately at the concessions, like at the team store, they had those little those Mr. fans.
Thank God.
So I ended up buying 2 of them for like $50. And we just sat there and held the fan up to our face just so we didn't die. So the viewing experience was not good. But Ricky, even though, and the Dodgers lost. First pitch of the game, jacked.
Yeah.
Second pitch of the game.
I was so worried after game 1 and after game 2. I'm like, I don't even know what to say to you. Yes. So all I did is send you funny TikTok videos about a woman singing about Tim going to the casino.
No, to casino.
To casino.
It's not the casino.
Don't be racist. Don't be racist now.
That's what she says.
I want to go casino.
She does.
That is Tim's spirit female.
It is. They're so funny. But first pitch, gone. Third pitch, gone. What? Blake Snell after the game, bad luck happens. I'm like, are you kidding? I'm like, do you know Chauncey Billups? Like, are you rigging baseball games? Like, my dad spent a lot of money to be down here.
But by the way, just a quick total topic change and then right back. I think Chauncey Billups, he was wearing sunglasses. I think he may have been trying to hack our lift heading home from the National. We thought it was a mistake.
I would like to think that there is a world where we stopped him. Like, there were a lot of people outside of the National Hotel that we were at. I mean, the FBI could have been right there. Like, we could have tipped them off.
We may have.
That could have started this whole
thing.
We
may not be able to talk about it.
A lot of people are saying that that's possible.
Absolutely. So back to the World Series.
No, that's a good call out. So after game 5, we're hurting. Now, this is where things are going to start to spice up. So we leave the game. We're dejected. We didn't even stick around for after the 9th inning because it didn't occur to us that maybe Kershaw is going to come back out on the field because that's his last home game he's ever going to be a part of. Now, he didn't play in the game, but we're so mad and we were so hot and so just feeling awful that we leave. We go to catch a lift. Now, the issue is you can't get service out there to catch a lift. So my dad and I are like, look, this hotel in Little Tokyo is 2 miles away. I'm like, Dad, are you up for just walking? Let's walk this thing off.
You guys are the perfect people to be in that situation because you are equipped to do that. I was watching B-roll footage of the cars as they were pulling out in the post game. It was a nightmare.
It was
an hour and a half later, and they're still It looked so full.
Well, and that's what we thought. We're like, well, there's going to be some shady parts. Like we have to walk down Sunset Boulevard for quite a ways. And then it's like the heart of downtown LA to get to Little Tokyo. So we're like, let's just do it.
You guys are runners.
But it's sometimes in these scenarios, and this is where I'm going to tee this off here just a little bit, where these great moments in sports history happen. Now, I'm not fully saying that my dad and I put out into the ether the recipe for the Dodgers to come back in game 6 and 7, but I'm kind of telling you that's what happened. So we start hoofing it. And like any great sports duo after a game when your team just gets destroyed, you start talking about all the ways that your team could start to come back, right? Like the first 5 minutes, you're like, God, it's just awful. And then it's like, well, you know what? We still got game 6 and we got Yamamoto and the dude's just incredible. And then we start talking. We're like, you know who needs to come out of the game is Pajes. Pajes cannot hit a lick. And we're like, we got to play Miggy Rojas. Like he's talked all series that he wants to be in. And the dude looks so dejected after game 5 that he just knew that was his last game in Dodger Stadium. Like, you got to put him in for his bat. And we concoct this lineup of also talking about how Mookie Betts couldn't hit in the one spot and you had to move him back. And we're starting to talk about this and we're starting to gain some traction. But, we're still not feeling great about the overall trip of losing 2 World Series games.
Sure.
But then we stumble, we take a left onto Sunset.
Before you take the left, I'm going to make you pause for 1 second. And I apologize if I missed this. Were you interviewed by MLB Japan? And did you drop the Back to the Future podcast? Well, how are we going to grow globally?
I told him Dan sucks.
Fair. All right. So you take
all of MLB Japan is going to know.
Yes. So you take a left. You're taking a left.
Well, you brought up the MLB Japan. Let's talk about it. So
Please.
Before we go to the second game, we walk right outside of the hotel, and there were actually quite a few people who saw us in Dodger jerseys. Like, hey, can we snap a photo just like with you guys in your jerseys? And we're like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So someone comes up and they're like, hey, you guys do an interview. And our lift was just about to pull up to take us to the game. So I was like, well, let me cancel the lift real quick. Like, sure, let's do it. Everyone's being super friendly. And so they had just like this little tiny camera and a microphone. And it's a woman, it's a camera guy, and then like an interpreter. And the guy who's holding the camera would ask the question to the interpreter, and then they would say it to the camera in Japanese, and they would say it back to us in English. And so we do the interview, and it was kind of fun. Like, it was my dad and I, and we didn't really know what they were doing it for. So they'd be like, who's your favorite player? And then like we'd say our favorite player and kind of why. And then we'd be like, go Dodgers, because we thought maybe it was going to be like one question, right?
Yeah.
And then it was the second question. At the end of it, we're like, yeah, go Dodgers. And then we're like, okay, these guys aren't stopping after 1 or 2 questions. So it's kind of awkward that we're saying go Dodgers to wrap it up at the end of every time.
These silly Americans.
And it was a very nice interview. They were very pleasant. But at the end of it, he hands me this paper. He's like, oh, will you sign this to disclose and release the video? I'm like, oh, sure. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you from? He's like, oh, MLB Japan. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, do you guys have like your own like social media or like your own Instagram? He's like, you've heard of MLB? I was like, oh, yeah. He's like, well, yeah, if you just toggle on the website from English to Japan, like we are the video team for MLB Japan. I was like,
What?
oh my God. So if you go onto the website and you change the language, you will see a couple of YouTube videos popped up. And actually, I haven't looked at it this week to see if it's there. But the person has like hundreds of thousands of followers and they post videos of baseball. And he said that the interview was going to be on there. And again, I haven't checked it out, but yeah, my dad and I should be on MLB,
Dude,
the
I'm gonna
website
find
for
you
Japan.
guys. We got to give a prize to our listener if they find you and send it to us too.
Dude, that would be pretty cool. I would totally be up for that. So
Incredible.
let's go back to this walk home because something very important happened here.
Yeah. So you and Papa Doc are taking a left.
Are you ready for me to take the left?
As we last left.
Are you sure you are ready for me to take the left?
When we
You
left,
got anything
left
else
Chad
you want
and
to bust
Dr.
in with?
Papa Doc, they were about to take a left.
And then we see the most glorious little hut on the side of this dirt-filled street of Sunset Boulevard. It was a little taco shack.
What?
They were street tacos. They had a couple of card tables set up and they had a grill going. And in that moment, we needed nothing else than a couple of street tacos. They were the most delicious. They put cheese down on the grill. They made their own tortillas and melted it onto the
What?
tortilla. They flip it over, put some carne asada steak in there, some diced onion, all the cilantro you could ever imagine. Just a hint of spicy hot sauce, just enough to make that onion pop. Oh my God, it was the greatest walking taco I've ever had in my life. And it was in that moment where all of those ideas that we started kicking around were like, hey, you got to drop Mookie. Mookie's got to go down further. You got to bump up Will Smith. You got to get Rojas in there because Rojas is going to get a hit. He's just going to do it. You got to take Pajes out of the game. You got to leave Kike in there because he's Mr. October. And we formulated this plan, and sure enough, we wake up the next morning full from street tacos, down on the Dodgers, but with hope because we see that Dave Roberts has changed the Dodgers lineup, and we got Yamamoto going, and Rojas is coming in the game, and all the stars are aligning, and we get together for Game 6. Kike, everyone has seen this, makes the incredible sprinting in catch, throws it to Miggy for the double play to end the game. What a boneheaded base running move by the Toronto Blue Jays. Everyone says they're a better team. They don't do the little things well. They aren't a baseball club. They don't know what it takes to win a World Series. And then Game 7, of course, I'm over at my parents' house. We're pacing back and forth the entire game. Who hits the home run to get us closer? It's Muncy. The Dodger, the guy who was left for dead by the Oakland A's, the guy who took a year off of baseball and comes back and gets 15 first place votes, or gets 15 votes for the National League MVP after hitting 30 dingers when no one else wanted him. He gets the Dodgers within one. You get Miggy Rojas, not the highest paid player. You get the dude who just wanted a chance, whose wife told him the entire World Series he was going to hit a home run even when he wasn't playing. You get one out in the 9th inning. The Blue Jays already got all the beer and champagne in their locker room. Miggy said, hang on. I got to hit this dinger out to left field here real quick. And then you go to extras. Yamamoto, after pitching 6 innings before, no big deal. No big deal. Bring me back in. Let me get out of this hot mess. Not a problem. And then Will Smith, the Dodger brought up through the system, bring him in as catcher, caught all the innings in the World Series, set records. Hits the dinger. Will Smith, Ricky, this year when I went to West Coast Card Show.
Yeah.
With Mama Doc.
Huh?
The big card that she bought there. Bowman first. Will Smith. Blue Wave. Auto. She had that card set up on the TV. Herself. We were all losing our mind. I have video. I need to send it to you.
Yeah.
We are all just losing our mind as the Dodgers win.
Oh.
Absolute glory. Absolute glory for this World Series run. I sprint after the Dodgers hit that World Series home run that would eventually win the World Series. I sprint down the street to my house. I grab the champagne out of the cellar because you can't bring it out too early because I did that before the Broncos played the Seahawks in the Super Bowl and then we lost by $1 billion. So you got to wait until you go ahead. And I sprint back down and we're spraying champagne and drinking it all over the place. I stayed up. I saw the end of Instagram that night. I watched every Instagram reel that exists. I got to the end. It eventually just says the end. And that was it. And there were no more.
That's amazing.
Having the time of my life. Ricky.
Yes.
That's the experience. Here's where things are going to turn a little.
Oh.
You know what I don't need to hear in this moment? And you know what I'm tired of hearing?
What's that?
Is how I'm not allowed to be excited for a Dodgers World Series of my parents' team. That's the type of shit that will get you on my banned for life list. You all think you know me as a Dodger fan. Let me be the first to tell you, and this is going to get a little rough around the edges, so if you don't want to hear it and your little ears can't take it, go ahead and turn this off. You don't know shit. This guy was there in the early 90s. My first memories of baseball were Eddie Murray and Darryl Strawberry playing for the Dodgers. Who was at Oral Hershiser's last game as a Dodger, watching him get absolutely destroyed?
What?
This guy. You know who, for decades, watched every possible pitch that I could of Dodger baseball and would send my parents text messages, hey, if we do this, we win this games, we're going to get into the playoffs. This guy. You know who took work off, canceled patients at my old clinic so I could watch Clayton Kershaw pitch in the playoffs as a young buck? This guy. This guy did. You know who, when I was on Disney trips, taking Mrs. Doc out to Disneyland for her birthday, but the Dodgers are playing in the playoffs, who would pull out his phone and watch the game when we're at dinner?
Who?
This guy.
Yeah.
This guy. I have watched Dodger playoff games from Napa Rose in Disneyland, from Trader Sam's at Disneyland, on the Matterhorn at Disneyland, all at different times. You know who's gone through Heartbreak? Who went through Heartbreak for 34 years?
Houston
With the Dodgers?
Astros.
This guy went through the heartbreak. And you know what? Leading up to the 2017 season, every year, every pitch I could watch, opening day was a big deal, right? You and I would have opening day of opening cards. It was always a big deal. And finally in 2017, finally the boys break through to the World Series. The first time since 88, they break through. And you know what? The stars aligned that day because right before game one, your boy from the University of Utah gets awarded like the med school teacher of the year, which happens to come with a little check of just about $2,000. You know what $2,000 gets you in 2017? It gets you a round trip flight to LAX and a seat for game one of the World Series in 2017.
By God.
One of the greatest pitching performances I've ever seen of Clayton Kershaw. He had 11 strikeouts, no walks in that game one victory over the Astros. Now, for all of those who think that you know me and tell me I'm not a baseball fan, live through all of that. Live through growing up thinking, hey, you know what? It seems like a lot of my teams, like the Jazz, maybe the Utes, like a lot of times calls go against your team and you start to wonder if things are rigged.
Yeah.
Right? As Jazz fans, we certainly thought that.
Things have been rigged against the Lions for 42 years.
Well, the 2017 World Series, you watch the Astros play during the playoffs and in the World Series, and George Springer's eyes are as big as saucers. Medically, there aren't many things that can get your eyes that big. You get Jose Altuve, who refuses to have a shirt ripped off after he's hitting dingers to get to the World Series. And ultimately, the Dodgers lose. They lose, and heartbreak ensues. And what's the one thing that can make heartbreak even worse? When you find out later that the opposing team, that there is proof that they cheated and caused that heartbreak. And you know what? This is what gets me fired up about people who tell me I can't watch baseball. When you go through 3 to 4 decades and you live through that heartbreak and you find out that the team that beat you when you get there cheated, and Major League Baseball says, meh, they don't really care. That's how you lose baseball fans. That's how you lose them.
Yep.
And you know what? If you go through that and you stick around through dedication, you're a diehard fan, you still watch every game, good on you. You're a better person than me. But for when this guy starts talking trash on baseball, that's the origin of it.
Baseball, I love it, man.
At that time was dead to me. The Astros, dead to me. I wish I could have seen George Springer play in Game 4 and Game 5. I have nearly a decade's worth of rage built up that I was going to let that guy hear it from the second tier in Game 4 all the way down the third baseline.
Yeah.
There's a fair chance I was getting ejected from Dodger Stadium if Springer made it up to the plate. Ricky, sports should be a way that people should have stressors as a good stress relief away from the stressors of life, is what I'm trying to say.
Agreed.
And when you find out that you pour your heart and soul into something and it's taken away because people cheat, nope, that's a fast pass to making you not want to put your little free time and emotion back into it.
Yeah.
And so that is what got me so pissed off about baseball. But this is not all negative. And before we move into segment 3, this World Series, Ricky, this one in particular, got me back. This got me back into baseball.
You're
and
back?
It's not fully back. Last year's World Series was great. Last year's World Series felt like the Dodgers, big guns that they went out and paid for, won them the World Series. Yamamoto won the Dodgers the World Series. But the Will Smith, the Dodger prospect that they bring up, hitting that dinger, that hits home. Kike Hernandez on that 2017 team, making massive plays. He died in the outfield. Pages killed him in Game 7. He literally killed him. Pages was Superman and exploded Kike's soul all over the dirt of the warning track. But Kike playing a huge role for them to win it. Miggy Rojas, the gritty dude, sitting on the bench the whole series, just waiting for his time to come in, hitting the game-tying home run. It's that grit and those little guys, those are the guys that lead you to come back and win. Baby, it gets all the warm and fuzzies going for me.
Yeah.
So, Ricky, with all of those things, I'm back for baseball, baby.
Yeah.
I'm back
baby.
for it. I'm back for it.
We're going to go hit the local card shop this weekend?
Dude, my eBay search list is all baseball, and I am all for going and buying some baseball cards anytime you want.
You know what? I guess we got a little ways to go, but I think Allen and Ginter's coming soon.
It is coming soon. So, Ricky, before we go into segment 3, I want to know, it's easy for me to be passionate about this and, of course, be fired up about it. Does any of this actually hit home? Like, I want to know from listeners, and even for the people that I'm, just royally pissed off about on this, is this hitting home at all? Or is my Dodger fandom and just fandom of winning a World Series still just gleaning through. What do
Now,
you think? I
I
want your opinion.
I think no, I totally relate, and I poke fun at you a little bit with the families team, because part of it, I think it's funny. I understand the frustration when you hear it, but at the same time, I don't view it as an insult. Like, I love the Tigers because my dad loved the Tigers. Like, yeah, damn straight, it's the coolest thing that I bond with him over. I think that even with the Lions, that's why, I get flack from you and Tim over the years and other listeners. I do cheer for the Packers after the Lions because that's who I grew up with my dad cheering for before I changed. So everything has had kind of a role in your in my relationship with my dad and how I was raised and close to him. And on the flip side, I'm taking my son to Lions games. He's a P1 Detroit Lions fan. He doesn't like baseball, never really gotten into it too much, but if he's going to cheer for a team, it's going to be the Tigers. It's Utah. He even likes Texas. So that is so cool. And Kyler reminds me all the time, hey, had you not entered his life, he may not have been into a lot of this stuff. And so I think there's nothing cooler than the bond between a father and son. And so, yeah, I think you should wear it proudly. Damn straight, that's my family's team. Yeah, I'm part of that family. It's mine too. So,
But, it made me do a lot of thinking about that in particular, that a lot of our fandom comes from experiences early in life with those things, right? But, who's to say, and this is fitting my narrative, so of course I'm going to justify it, but who's to say that that can't change with time and then have that fire reignited later on?
right.
Like, hell, I'm 42 years old. And who would have thought that this narrative of me going to the World Series with my dad, watching the World Series with my parents, that this particular set of circumstances would be the thing that fired me back up,
Mhm.
well over my fourth decade of life. So it's fascinating how sports can do that. And it's easy to say after the team you're rooting for wins. And I get that.
Yeah.
But it's also a little bit, I think for me after 2017, self-preservation, to be honest with you, that you don't want to be hurt again by something else.
No, and I get it. And I'll be honest, I was prepared to break your balls a bit about crapping all over baseball. I'm so glad you gave that rant because I'd forgotten about why and the cheating with the Astros. I mean, I always knew you were angry about it, but I don't think I'd kind of connected it. And I think that makes all the sense in the world as to why you stepped away. I think it makes all the sense in the world why you're coming back. You just told a story about, and I think you did it for when you went previously to the World Series. Didn't you go with your dad as well then?
Yes. Yep. He came with me too.
I mean, those are unforgettable moments. Like, those are super, super special moments. Papa eBay took me out to Dallas when the Packers won their most recent Super Bowl. That was super cool experience with him. Yeah, I think it makes all the sense in the world as to why you stepped away and came back. So
anytime I can prevent you from having joy busting my butt, oh man, it's gonna be a good. I'm gonna sleep well tonight.
That sucked.
Well, Ricky, let's move into our kind of last segment here. I don't think this one will be quite as long, but it will tie this in to collecting. So what I wanted to do here is an exercise with both of us and think about what drives changes to our collecting and really what drives our card collections overall. Because obviously over the last 7 years, and certainly since we've had this podcast going, as I just mentioned, baseball has not been a part of what I've collected. But obviously after the World Series and what I just said to you, Kike Hernandez is probably number one on my eBay search list right now.
Yeah.
Like, he's my guy. And so it really got me thinking about not only a trip that I just had, but what drives what we do. And I came up with a little bit of a list here I put in the show notes, and I'll start with them, but I want you to interject at any point if you've been able to look at it or think about it.
Okay.
With what drives yours. So this part really too, I want to hear from listeners, what we missed or what hits home with you. And the first one for me, I think, is gotta be nostalgia. And that can come in a variety of forms. For me personally, as I reflect back even to my youth, Shaquille O'Neal, I've talked about him at length, how he really got me into collecting back in 92. Him ripping down the rim, like just the novelty of that. Jordan, because of course he was an icon and we got to watch him play. Yeah. But even Ken Griffey, even though I don't own Ken Griffey cards, the nostalgia of thinking of him, going out on the playground, and no matter what, you're flipping your cap backwards and you're going to shake that bat a little bit as you try and hit a dinger.
Absolutely.
So I think nostalgia is one of the biggest things that can do it. And whether it's from a time in childhood or for me, there's going to be a time in the not so distant future where thinking back on this time I'm having now is going to bring back those nostalgic feels too.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
I assume the nostalgia point hits home with you as well.
Absolutely. Nostalgia is big for me, especially in basketball or sports that I don't connect with as closely currently, right? Like I'm not as connected to the NBA. The other thing that impacts mine, it seems to follow based on the team and how hard I root for them. For example, my dad asked me, hey,
Yeah.
out of Utah, the Lions, the Tigers, who do you want to see win a championship the most? And I told him Detroit. They have lost in the most spectacular fashion. They have set records for being terrible, and I just want to see it in my lifetime. Then the Tigers, because of my dad, and our close bond, and then probably Utah. And part of that's impacted by the fact that I did go to Texas. Got to, they won a championship while I was there, so I kind of got to experience what that was like. So maybe I'm being a little selfish there, because I would care very much for Utah to get into a playoff and win a championship. That would be incredible. So they're all really close to each other, but that's kind of the order in which I cheer for these teams and desire them to be successful. And again, it's by a half a point, right? But those are the teams that I tend to collect the most. I tend to collect the Lions a lot, I collect the Tigers a lot, and Utah. For me, you and I differ a little bit in that if you have ever been on the team, you're good in my book, if you're a good enough player. Right. Whereas when Donovan left, he didn't mean quite as much for your collection. Or if another star player gets traded, Von Miller, to another team, I could see that impacting some of your collection. And maybe I have Von wrong. Maybe that's a bad example. But
no, I think it's a good example because I don't collect Von Miller off of my team of the Broncos, which was interesting. And even Peyton Manning, which I've grown to more of a collection, I don't collect him on the Colts. So I do think you're right with me that it seems to be more team driven. Yeah. And I think even to expand upon your point earlier, but this is a good point to highlight it, is I lumped in family and community into one point that drives my collection quite a bit. Sure. Like those experiences with my parents of watching Dodgers, like I still have those same experiences of Broncos, of going to Broncos games with my dad as a kid, and my sister and my mom going to Jazz games with him. And I think all of that certainly brings it there. The community aspect I lump into that as well, because like for us with Cam Rising, right? I take that, for example, the Rose Bowl and really the Pac-12 title game experiences down in Vegas. Yeah, I had so much fun at those Pac-12 title games, and he was leading the pack there. And I think that drove those memories that I had. And unfortunately, you didn't go to those. But
no, but they were still important. They
were still fun. And you and I were texting, watching the games as we're going down there. And like the group of animals of our friends were down there. And like that whole memory, I can tie that into that card, which I think led it a lot. And the one thing I don't have an answer for, just to bring back your last point, I don't think I fully have an answer why post Broncos Von Miller and why post Utah Jazz Donovan Mitchell have not hit with me. And I just don't know why. I don't fully get it.
And to some degree, I get it in that, like, I probably am not chasing Jared Goff Rams cards, right? Although
you haven't collected Stafford with the Rams either, right?
No, not really. In fact, Mrs. eBay got me my first one for my birthday that she picked up at the National.
Oh, this is awkward.
And it was really cool, but I have not collected a lot of Goff. But I did find, as I was going through my football collection, and I thought I had it handy, I must not, a Jared Goff rookie Prism Silver with the Rams.
No kidding.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Junk box Goff.
Junk box Goff.
But no, like, so I do prefer them on that team, but like I feel like you had a massive Donovan Mitchell Jazz collection, and when he left, you really reduced that, right?
I did. And to tell you what, like, it's on my mind that if Donovan leads the Cavs to the #1 seed in the spring, those cards are going to be the next ones to go so I can go buy something else.
Yeah, see, exactly. And for me, like the Cam Rising, I will always keep because that has a value to me, right? Because of the memories, like you pointed out. But then there are other cards, and I think part of it is, frankly, the teams we cheer for. I think, honestly, and I'm not trying to be facetious or insulting, the Broncos and Dodgers have been big-time winners in our lifetime. The Lions and Tigers
for sure
have not. And so we've had like terrible player after terrible player. And so when you get a good player, a Calvin Johnson, that only sticks around for a number of years, you have to hold on to those players, Right. And I'm sure that impacts it a bit.
That's good insight, man. I hadn't necessarily thought about that, but I think you're exactly right.
Because my head's kind of spinning right now, man. Like even I'm looking at potential like jerseys to get for the Lions. I'm looking at cards, and same with the Tigers. They're both up and coming, and there are just a ton of players. I don't even know who to start with. This is like totally new for me. I have
Right.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. I have J-Mo Williams. I have Goff. I've got Sonic and Knuckles. Montgomery and or what is his name? Please help me.
Gibbs?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I got you. Sorry, it took me a minute
Oh,
to
you're
get there.
good. You're good. Our tight ends, our Hutchinson, like this is different for me. I'm used to like maybe a Herman Moore, maybe a Barry Sanders,
Yeah.
maybe a Calvin Johnson. So this has been a lot of fun and different experience. So
No, I think that insight's good. And, the other things that caught my mind just as I was reflecting, like what drives other people's collections, certainly investment opportunities, like the aspect of gambling, right? For
Yeah.
price. Like, I mean, we see that Tim did it to some degree early on with his collection. And he's kind of toned that down, but certainly people do it. Whether or not the cards have like certain art appeal. I mean, I just bought that Calvin Johnson that I showed you. I don't have it right here in front of me. I showed the card earlier though,
Right.
because I thought it looked so damn cool. And like, I enjoy those players who I think of as almost like fantasy football players. You hear Josh with Cardboard Chronicles talk about collecting his fantasy teams from the 2010s. I do the same thing. And the art appeal of that, I think, is pretty fun and drives a little bit for me too.
No, I totally agree. And Tim kind of got me on board with the I'm going to mess this up. There are 3 cards. He did it for the Bulls basketball.
Triumvirate.
Yes. And I got it for the Tigers because of
you did?
him. And they just look cool. They're not like super valuable cards, but they just look cool. And he kind of inspired me. I guarantee if we thought about it for a minute, you've inspired me on a bunch of cards.
Well, I don't know. There's kind of a
Prism's a perfect example. I don't think I appreciated 2012
Drew
Prism.
Lock, Kobe White, first year Lakers Revolution, LeBron James. Like the list of iconic hits just goes on and on and on. So I don't know, man. I thought it was kind of a fun little thought experiment to think about what drives what we do.
Yeah.
Is there anything on that list that we didn't hit on or I didn't put down that you think should be on there?
No, I mean, I think you could almost make one, and it probably fits into one of these others with nostalgia or community, but you could almost do pop culture too. Like, right, whatever's hot at the moment. If Kobayashi's real popular because he's getting thrown out of the hot dog eating contest, then his cards are going to be hot. Mike Tyson came out now and Ginter, and he was real hot for a minute, So there is a pop culture element, I suppose. I anticipate that the Kelsey cards have gone up because of the Taylor Swift frenzy. So, I think there's maybe a little bit of that. Although I got to say, I think you and I try and stay away from that. As we get excited over pop culture things, don't get us wrong. Just listen to us talk about Disney or Marvel cards. But
yeah.
But at the same time, I think we try not to make it a mainstay in our collection because we know that it's going to be hot for a short period of time and disappear.
And I've certainly evolved from that because you're right. Like I've jumped on those, whether it's pop culture or just hot cards, like the ones I just rattled off. And it's just fun to see how it evolves with time.
For sure.
Well, all right, man, I think I'm out of words. My voice is gone. I think that's the most I've talked in an hour and 15 minutes in my life.
I'm cooked, man. Yeah, that was an excellent episode. And we covered a little bit of everything.
We did. I'm curious what people think about that. I kind of want to bring back the segments, like the separate things like this. I think people like it. So hit us up on our socials and let us know.
Oh, because they're coming back. I'm sorry. They just work. All right, for Chad, it's been another fun show. For Chad, this is Ricky, the Secret Santa. Don't forget, November 16th, November 16th, November 16th, Game used, November 16th. Wishing all of you a one of one night.
Past my bedtime.
Yeah.
Even this dog's cooked back here. Look at this dog. Do you see it right there?
Bad dog. She's dead.
She's all tuckered out. Dude, next week, I go back to the Haunted Hill House.
No.
Yeah, 2 nights. And guess what? Dude, I kid you not. I'm going to go solo in there and I'm going to film. They don't let us do live investigations. I forgot. This is a quick aside. Coach Jeff, ghost. Call in tomorrow next work because you're going to be hungover if you're playing the Chad Ghost drinking game. But aside from that, he said every time I say ghost, he's got to take a drink. So now he's going to be hammered. But They don't let people live stream investigate inside the Hill House, but they did say I can record, send it to them. They'll proof it the next morning because of history stuff.
Sure.
And then I'll upload it the next day. So I'm going to go solo inside of there in the middle of the night.
What
for
day
like
are you
an hour
leaving?
or two. I'm leaving Thursday.
I must come over and give you need to order like 10 vials of the holy water, and we're giving you an enema. It's the only way, man. It's the only way.
Gotta do it when I come home, I think, right?
Fair. Well, probably preventative and after. If we're being smart about it. So, stock up on that. Maybe get a little lube and a beer pong. A beer bong.
All right, that's enough.
All right. And Dan,